And we are live. Thank you for joining us, starting this short qualifying session. Everybody out on track right now, it looks like. And the first times are finally coming in. N24. Oh, PSU sets a blistering lap 116.2 on the softs. Everybody should be on the softs. It's Zexify trying to... I don't know if he's just playing mind games or there was some confusion in the pit crew, but it looks like it's Zexify starting his qualifying on the medium tires. Jack, what do you take about that?
Yeah, good evening everyone, nice to be back. Obviously, rounds 3, race 5 and 6 here at Imola, but yeah, Zexify, let's get on to it. I think that's a strange decision to go on the mediums, but then again, having said that, he's just gone P2, so maybe he knows something the other drivers don't. That's an impressive lap time. But yeah, I mean, unorthodox, shall we call it, Orkin?
I would say that, absolutely. That is not something I expected to see, but he's still, right now, he's provisional P2. Little yellow flag.
Oh, looks like, I think it's one of the McLarens, I think, that's just going a little bit slowly. I reckon that's Ben Roberts. No, it's not. It's PSU, actually. A bit further around the track, but I think he's just getting out of driver's way, which is the right thing to do. Difficult circuit, this Imola, 3-mile circuit, 4.8 kilometers. So, a lot of tight technical variantes, they call them, chicanes, as we would call them. And, I know that a number of drivers are going to have some difficulty riding the curbs. They are quite infamous on this game, but hopefully everyone can get round relatively well. I'm just going to run through the championship standings in a moment, just so we can get up to speed where everybody is, and I'll just do the top 10. So first place at the moment is a Ferrari of flat left on 54 points. Shortbread is second on 49. Ben Roberts in third in the McLaren on 40. He's got a point to prove tonight. Billy Misu is fourth in the Mercedes on 30, with PSU joint with him on the same score. In sixth place is RP to 13 on 28, with Itzexify after winning the first race last week at Saudi Arabia. He's in seventh. Fetz is eighth, with JMB Surreal ninth. Jackie on Franson is 10th in the drivers' standings. In terms of the teams, we'll just look at the top 5 for now. Ferrari lead the way, 79, coming to their home track today. Aston Martin are second on 73, with McLaren third on 70. And then there's a big gap backwards to Mercedes in fourth place on 30, and Alfa Romeo in fifth on 29 points. So, Orkin, what have you seen on track so far?
Well, there's been a couple red flags so far. I think a couple spin outs. I don't think anything too serious just yet. A couple drivers just pushing the car to the limit, feeling out the track right now at Imola. We got a great race coming up ahead of us after this qualifying, but no immediate crashes yet. I see PSU is still holding that provisional pole, 16-2. That was his first lap right after his out lap. Great time, but I'm still surprised to see it's Zexify holding his time at P2 with the medium tires. That is a very interesting strategy. And it looks like he just set another purple sector. Oh no, that is PSU setting another purple sector. So it looks like he is on pace to beat his original time of 16-2.
Yeah, I think PSU went onto another lap then, but decided to bail out of it. He's now back into the pits, so PSU taking a breather in the next remaining 10.5 minutes pretty much of this session. Zexify, though, has gone quicker. He's only now less than 2/10 behind PSU. And bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the Ferrari driver is on the medium compound tyres. They're expected to be about a second a lap slower around here. So Zexify is looking just like last week, Orkin, the man in form.
I think so. He is confident enough, saving the soft tires, said, listen, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to come out on the mediums. Improving his time, not enough for pole, though. coming in at a solid 16.4, just under a tenth and a half behind PSU, who's right now safely in the pits. Doesn't need to do anything just yet. Doesn't need to get too crazy, waiting for everybody to bet out their time. But he right now is getting his feet up and relaxing in the pits.
Yeah, he's taking his time to chill out at the moment. Don't blame him, you know, potentially a second pole position in a row on the cards, but Zexify, if he can translate that medium to soft tyre pace, he's going to be very, very quick. Betts has also just done a lap time in the Aston Martin. He's done a 1:16.666 for him, so he's only about 3.5 tenths off the McLaren in P1, so that's a good effort from the Aston Martin driver, who had a good set of races last week, 2 third places, and he's in 3rd place again. So let's see how he gets on.
Yakio right now trying to improve. Doesn't look like the Red Bulls are in form just yet, hovering right around 6 and 7, both of them.
Yeah, Jackie on Franson. Oh, Billy Misu just puts himself into provisional pole with a 1:16.1, the Mercedes. Great effort from Billy. You know, he had a bit of a disaster in the first race last week. He ended up all over the place, bounced back with that incredible last few laps of fighting with himself, flat left with Betts for the win. But Billy Misu trying to put down that form marker. You know, he won the evaluation races before the season started, so he'll be hoping that he gets his first win of the season tonight, the Merc.
You know, it's a shame that happened to Billy Misu at the Jeddah circuit. You know, we both witnessed Billy Misu have one of the best overtakes I've seen in Saudi Arabia, and just could not get that good luck in that good form to put anything on the board to bring home. It was not as significant of a clawback as he would have liked, but still he showed he is capable of performing at the highest caliber, and right now he is P1. Tell me, what do you think about Billy Misu, his chances of dominating at Imola today?
I think Billy, through the season, has always shown flashes of pace in terms of tracks. What we've seen, he had good pace at Bahrain, didn't work out for him at Saudi Arabia. You know, he was in the lead fight in second race, so he's got the speed and he's capable of winning, but he just has to get that first win on the board. And you know, we're coming into the halfway point of the season tonight, and the championship, those that want to be serious contenders have to make the results tonight work, otherwise that's it for them. So the pressure's on Billy to pull off a result, and if he doesn't do it, the championship, I reckon, might be gone from him.
Oh, JMB. Looks like the AlphaTauri with a spin out. He is heading right back into the pits before pursuing another lap. Great area to spin out if there ever was one, right in front of the pit lane. Get right back in there. Might throw on a new set of softs. Try and improve his time. Right now, JMB Surreal is sitting at P7. And both AlphaTauris right now in the pits. And they're going to take a look at some of the onboards, figure out what is going on. They think both their cars got more pace than they have.
I'd like for our race director actually to go on board with PSU. He's just coming onto a lap down into turn 2 here at the chicane through Tamburello 3 and 4. Nicely done, very committed was the McLaren driver as he approaches now turns 5 and 6 through Villeneuve. Got to be careful of the inside curve, but he does quite well there. Let's have a look at his delta as he goes into Tosa. He's pretty much matched his first sector time at the moment, so all could take us through the rest of this lap.
Oh, this is absolutely amazing. PSU right now, he is right in the middle of sector 2. Oh, he goes wide there. Just took a little bit too much. I wonder if he's going to try and save what is left in the tires or try and get back in the pits. Maybe gain an extra tenth. Right now, it is so close between PSU and Billy Misu. Just separated by less than 2 tenths. And right now, PSU trying to figure out a good strategy here. That was you're right. The deltas were looking good. He had some good form on that qualifying lap, but just could not hold it together. Lost it right in the middle of S2 on that uh, very wide turn.
And he is going for it again. So PSU now is going to have a second bite of the cherry. He's straightened up turn 1, which is this little kink here actually, and then flying now down towards once again Tamburello on the brakes at the 50 mark aboard just before that 5th gear through 6th gear. Really nicely done through the first part of that sector there for the McLaren driver. Then he comes through to the left right of Villeneuve once more, through 5 through 6, nice again, really using all of his lines, and he's a 10th up at the moment. And Orkin, I'll pass it back to you again.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. PSU had one little error on that last lap, goes right back out, doesn't need to go to the pits, sets a purple S1, comes back to the turn where he went off and hits it absolutely clean. Maybe a little bit of grass there, heading right to the start of S3. Can he hold it? Oh, hits that chicane beautifully. Oh, and it's purple S2 for PSU as well. This is going to be a banger lap. Could we see the 115s from PSU? We right now are on pace. The McLaren is showing everything it has. One last turn. It all comes down to this. Can he retake provisional pole? Oh, and he does!
Yeah.
PSU 115.5. Wow, an absolutely dominating lap from PSU. That is absolutely great to see. He was sitting in the pits with his feet up, thought he had everything all figured out. Then Billy Misu comes, takes that provisional pole right back from Mercedes. PSU says, all right, guys, let me get on back out there, show what I have. And if we're going to keep seeing this type of performance, again, he did take his first pole at Jeddah. And right now, it is looking like he's going to take the pole at Imola. Jack, this is absolutely amazing.
Well, that was a fantastic lap from the McLaren driver. That was excellent. He really nailed that lap. He'll just have enough time to get back in for another lap as well. But hopefully the race director is going to go over to Billy Misu, because he is also coming onto a lap now. The Mercedes, he wants his pole back. So Billy comes through turn 1 straight away. He's got all of his ERS available for him as he goes onto this lap at the 100-meter mark. He breaks down into 5th gear. Nice line through there, and maybe not as swooping as the McLaren, but he's using all of that exit curb coming out of turn 4. On the approach now into Villeneuve chicane, he's done very nicely through there. Let's have a look at that first sector time. He's 0.005 of a second faster as he clicks the gears from 3rd to 4th, short shifting just to stop that wheel spin. And then now he approaches the 8 and 9. That's going to be Piratella. 6th gear, really nicely done through there from the Mercedes. Then he's got to get this Aqua Minerale double set of corners right now, and he does it really well. Nicely done in 4th gear. Now, has he got the time and the speed to get through the chicane here perfectly? He goes down to 2nd, then 3rd, then 4th, upshifts again, but he's done well there, has Billy Misu. He's got enough ERS available for him to use all the way to the end of this lap. He's just got to make sure Bravazza is perfect. It is 3rd gear, it's 4th gear. Will he go into 5th mid-corner? No, he doesn't. He uses all of the revs available to him. This has to be enough. Can he get pole position back? Not quite.
No! Still an absolutely dominating performance from Billy Misu. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to beat Shu, who right now is provisional pole. I saw Billy Misu did set a purple sector 1, but just I'm not quite sure what happened in S2. I don't know if there was a little bit of traffic or just made one small error, but he is half a second back of the provisional pole leader PSU right now.
Yeah, he is, and I think, to be honest with you, the lap wasn't that bad, but PSU's, you could just see in Sector 2, he was so clean compared to what Billy did. Got a couple of mentions as well. Harran Ali up to 4th place. This is going to be his best grid position of the year if he can hold on to it. He's just about to go on to his final flying lap. Fett's 2 Aston Martins have been joined at the hip all season long. They're 5th and 6th for Peter. Oh, Peter's lost it, actually, coming out of Tamburello. That's his lap, game over and done with. 2 AlphaTauri's 8th and 9th, and Spannel is in the pits in 10th place. Zexify, though, is the one to watch. He is 4 tenths up almost on his first lap that he did on those medium compound tyres. I'm just watching him as he comes through Aqua Minerale. He's going up over the crest now towards that Variante Alta. He's got to get the chicane right here, which he does very nicely. So this is going to be it. He has to make sure he only needs to gain 9/10. That's doable on the soft tyres compared to what he did on the mediums. So number 7 flicks the car through the penultimate corner and through the last corner. He upshifts mid-corner. Absolutely committed is the Ferrari driver. Will he take pole? This is going to be close, and he does.
He takes it. It's Zexified. Shows his true colors, switching back to the softs. He was playing the long con, waiting until the very last possible lap, and snags that provisional pole.
What an effort. Shortbread gets himself up to 4th. He beats Hara and Ali to the 2nd row of the grid. There's a couple of cars coming through the final corners now. Fett is going to be the one to watch. He's in 6th place at the moment. He's coming towards the line. Good effort from flat left to move to 6th, but Fett takes it back. Shout out to Hara and Ali, 5th place. That's his best grid position of the season thus far. I'm just looking to see if anyone else is on a lap. They're not. So it's Zexify gets pole position here at Imola.
Okay. That was absolutely amazing to see. I gotta get this driver's ear after the race. What was the strategy starting out on the mediums? And he's still, was he P3 for most of the qualifying session on those mediums?
Yeah, he was right. He was right. There was only a few tenths off, but he's got that pole position again.
Oh, PSU thought he had it in the bag. Now, an interesting thing to note, they are very close, the top 2 drivers, but after that, the gap starts to open up a bit between the other drivers on the grid right now. It's Zexify and PSU just so close, and then it starts getting into half seconds and 8/10 to full seconds. I mean, what is so difficult to get this qualifying so right, Jack? I mean, just the top drivers are neck and neck with each other, and not seeing the same performance out of the vehicles farther down the grid.
I think it all comes down to, Imola being a very flowing circuit, and you look at the other drivers. To be honest, the other drivers from 3rd to 10th are only separated by 1 second, but the McLaren and the Ferrari of PSU and Zexify are in another planet right now in terms of performance.
You can say that again.
But 6/10, let's not forget, isn't a big gap. If you're gaining a couple of tenths per lap in the race, that might make a difference. But Shortbread and the other drivers behind will fancy their chances. Just to let everyone know, before we go into the race, no formation lap because of the glitches we had last week, so we're going straight into this. It's going to be exciting.
And here we go. We're getting right into the race. Not waiting for anything. Not waiting for the technical difficulties to ensue. We are diving right into the race. A great qualifying session. That kept me on the edge of my seat, I'll tell you. A betting man would have guaranteed PSU was taking that provisional pole half a second in front of everybody, but it's Zexify just had to throw the softs back on and flex a little bit. Billy Misu did have a little bit of an opportunity, but just could not string a good pole lap together. Had his moments for sure, but it's Zexify in the end dominated that quali session and is going to start the race. Now, what do you think about Oh, here we go.
Here we go then. The 5 lights are coming on here for race 5 of the season of the Weekend League. And the lights are out. Here we go for Imola. It's a cracking start from Zexify. He's got off the line already brilliantly. PSU slots in behind. Aaron Alley up to 3rd. What a start for him. There's a fight going on for 4th place between Fetz and Billy Misu. Billy Misu's going to have to try and protect that inside line, which he does. There is contact between the cars behind. That's an AlphaTauri. I think that's Silky that's gone backwards. There's chaos in the rear end. But at the moment, Zexify and PSU are already trying to get away.
And that's going to be Fake Nutson with a 5-second severe collision penalty. We're gonna definitely check the onboards there, but next time he goes into the pits, he will have to serve that penalty. That will not be applied after the race. His next pit stop, he's going to have to serve that one. Oh, and there's a spin.
Fake Knutson, isn't it, who's gone round the Alpines, gone backwards, so that's a nightmare for him. He's just been overtaken by the debutant, who we haven't mentioned tonight. Well, I was going to say was debutant. He's got a broken front wing, has Volt von Keisel, but never mind, he'll just have to crack on. In the meantime, at the front, it's Zexify, PSU, Harran Ali, and then Billy Misu, the first of the medium tyre runners, shortbread right behind. Oh, flat left, nearly running into the back of the Aston Martin effects there as they come through Rivata for the first time of asking. Zexify already 1.3 to the good though.
Yeah, Fake Knutson, his race just went from bad to worse. Starts out severe collision penalty, drops 7 places, started out 10th. Was in the points at the start of the race, and it is not looking too good for Fake Knutson right now. The biggest position change in the positive that I see.
It's like Jan, doesn't it, in the Haas? He's in. Oh, bit of contact between him and Ben Roberts. Look at this, they're fighting over 11. Ben Roberts trying to go around the outside on those softer compound tyres. He gets a little bit of contact there on the grass. Ben Roberts really just making sure he sticks to the inside line. Can he hold it? Going into turn 9, they're side by side still. Ben Roberts pushed off the road, but they get through.
Now, that could have been an overtake off track. We're definitely going to review the... Oh, and the Haas gets spun out!
Oh, dear. Feni Sarose, the man who was in the points, he went for a lunge up the inside at Aqua Minerale, but the momentum was against him, hits the rear quarter of Ben Roberts, and round he goes. Unfortunately for him. That's a shame.
Oh, that's a real shame to see. That was a great on-track battle. A little bit of questionable elbows out. It could have been a couple racing incidents, but did originally look like an overtake off track. I don't know if a penalty could be applied after the fact. Jack, talk us through that, how the penalties are applied if the drivers come together and can they form a vote? Can they come together and say, we have the onboards, we have the data, can we look at this and take this to the stewards ourselves?
Yeah, they can absolutely. They can speak to their team, the admin team afterwards, show the evidence, and the other drivers obviously will be asked for that. I agree with you, Alkin, to be honest. There looks like it was an overtake off track for Ben Roberts, which isn't ideal, and that might form part of the steward's investigation, maybe against his favour, to be honest. And I'm sure that if that goes into the stewards, that'll be a post-race penalty applied for him, which is unfortunate. But there's a couple of drivers already picking up time penalties as we go through. Fetz already had one. I just watched his move without DRS, actually, on flat left. He's now up into 6th place. The rest of the drivers are just having a bit of a DRS train in the midfield. It's very close from 6th right the way down to 13th. They're all separated by a second or so from one another. It's really good.
The 2 McLarens are 3-4 right now. They are looking absolutely amazing. Harran and Billy Misu, very steady. Harun Ali shot up 2 positions, overtaking Billy Misu at the very start of the race. Too much action going on at the back. Sorry we didn't bring that news to you, but if you look right now, Harran is very low on the battery. That's an interesting strategy just to get up ahead using all of the gas you got this early. It's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out later in the race.
Yeah, I think that's been a mindset that Harran actually has. It seems that he's using a lot of ERS all the time. Most would advise you against it, but Harran's got his own way of doing things in the Mercedes, and he's looking for a first podium of the season at the moment. But you have to remember, Billy, his teammate behind him on the medium compound tyres, now within a second. Don't know whether he'll be close enough to mount an attack going into turn 1, but we'll wait and find out to see what happens there. But maybe some team orders to be applied. Something's just very bizarre has just happened to Billy Misu. And Fetz and flat left, Peter and Spannel and Jackie on front. They're all coming in. Everyone is on the softs. They're all coming into the pits.
We got a safety car. I missed what happened on the track. We're going to check the onboards, but there looks like...
Diego has lost his front wing at coming out of Tamburello, because I saw the yellow flag for it, but it's been upgraded to a full safety car. This is going to be it's going to be an important decision to make. Luckily for the front three drivers, Zexify, PSU, and Haranali, they're on the soft tyres at the moment, and Milo Bello as well. The safety car still hasn't picked them up, so they've still got the chance to go around, get another lap on the soft tyres, bolt on some mediums now, come back out, not lose track position, because J&B Surreal, just looking at the first car actually, after J&B Surreal, Milo Bello, it's Fetz in 8th. He is the first driver to have pitted, and he's on the mediums, and they should last all the way to the end.
Well, that is interesting. I wonder what the top three are going to do. I think it's all going to come down to it's Zexify, what his decision will be coming up to the pits right now. Whatever he decides to do, the back two might follow. It's Zexify does decide to pit right now under safety car conditions, save some time. PSU and Billy Misu also... Oh, Billy Misu deciding to stay out on the mediums. Shortbread as well.
Yeah, I think J&B Surreal is probably going to jump these three soft to medium tyres as Milo Bello picks up a penalty speeding in the pit lane. That's close between Surreal, but it was actually Diego who just come out of the pits. But yeah, the front three currently drivers that are the only three drivers, I think, in the whole field, apart from Bolt, who's down in 18, are yet to pit.
Billy Misu is the leader right now, but again, he still needs to come into the pits at some point, change those tires. The top three right now decided to stay out on the mediums. Could not hold the race if they switch compound to the soft. Now tell me, what is the strategy? Why not just go to the hard tire? With that, I know we have to switch compounds. Are you giving up too much time on the hard tire? Is that the strategy that these drivers have? The time gained under the safety car is not equivalent to the time lost with the hard tire compound?
Yeah, I think there's a certain aversion for drivers not wanting to go on the hard tyres in this game. I don't think a lot of drivers are comfortable with the hard compound. Personally, from a league racing perspective, having raced around here a number of times before, Imola is a very difficult circuit to make time up if you're on let's say, a different strategy to everybody else, because Billy Shortbread and J&B Surreal, although they'll have soft tyres at the end, they'll have lost about 25 seconds in the pit lane, and unless there's another safety car, that's really going to impede them. So might have been better for them to have actually pitted for those hard tyres. Not the ideal tyre, but they would give them track position. So maybe I could be wrong. If another safety car comes out, they could bolt on the softs and they'll be in prime time position. But right now, as it stands, if we assume no safety car, they're going to be up against it.
I think so. Just a handful of time penalties around on the grid. A couple of them were served during the safety car, switching the tires, serving the time penalties. Billy Misu now. I think the safety car will be coming in this lap. Winding around, slowly crawling into S2. Billy Misu keeping those medium tires warm. And we are going to see how long those medium tires can last after this safety car here. Now, the top three, it's going to be very interesting. I think it's all coming down to strategy for the top three, when they're actually going to decide to pit. They do at some point. Now, Jack, tell me, how long did Pirelli anticipate moving, the tire strategy? What is the expected lap life? How many laps are these mediums predicted to last before we start seeing some traction and some times dropping off?
Well, potentially anywhere between 7 laps to 10 laps, but obviously, as the safety car is in this lap, the mediums have had an extra 2 laps of life added on. So maybe the Mercedes, Aston Martin, and AlphaTauri drivers can stretch that to maybe lap 12. But we are getting ready to go racing again, and Billy Misu leads us round that final corner, and he's done quite well at the restart. He's not going to be under pressure. Zexify, he's got a bit of a problem because he's got the Alfa Romeo of Diego between him and James B. Surreal, so he's going to have to clear that as quickly as he can. But for the front three, or mainly from Billy Misu's perspective, great restart, by the way. Just looking down the field, no one else seems to be challenging or shaping up a move just yet. Billy Misu's got to hope that Zexify can catch the two behind him, and he's just got past that Alfa Romeo. He's got to hope that... Oh, Fake Nutson's out.
Oh, Fake Nutson's out!
Fake Knutson has crashed coming out of Tamburello. The Alpine, nightmare for him. That's an absolute shame. He had some good fights last week, did Fake Knutson, but he's out at the moment. He's going to have to wait for race 2. But Zexify is all over the back of J&B Surreal now. And the two in front of him, they're going to have to hope that they can fight for a bit, because Billy Misu and Shortbread are really going to need some help here to try and pull away Orkan.
Oh, Haran gets served another penalty, another 3-second penalty. Got to stay within the lines. The stewards have seen enough, given too many warnings. Say, we got to hit you again. Oh, even PSU I see going off a little wide there. Stewards,
he is, and there's, look at it.
Time penalty yet.
There's going to be a big fight now. J&B Surreal and Zexify side by side, but PSU has got Slipstream. He's going to try and make it free wide. PSU's on the grass. Going to go around the outside. Surely not. What a move! No, not quite. PSU's round.
Oh, no!
Oh, that was borderline one of the greatest moves we could have ever seen in this league, but PSU tumbles down. Oh, that's a disaster.
Oh, what a shame.
More fighting going on in the midfield. Jan and Silky and Feni Sorose for 13th. They were just having a good side-by-side between the three of them as well. J&B Surreal had some good racing awareness then. He made aware of the fact that he was going to be overtaken by the two and just backed out of it. Didn't want to get any contact, and look, it's paid off for him. He's 4th currently, and PSU was the one who tumbled down.
Oh, that is an absolute shame. We're having technical difficulties with this this microphone, but as long as the audience can still hear this broadcast, I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, hopefully so. I hope you haven't got any more issues, Orkan. That'd be a nightmare, to be honest with you. DRS is now re-enabled for the drivers, so they've got the chance to use that rear wing opening going onto the main straight. Hopefully they can use that to good effect, depending on how the gaps work out. I'm just watching Zexify at the moment. He's currently still in 3rd place, net lead as it stands. Silky's just got past Jan for 13th place. That looks like a nice clean move. Just having a see. The only two drivers who actually gambled for the hard tyres were Jackie on Franson and Feni Sorose. And Jackie is on the verge of points, but he's got to hope that the drivers who are yet to pit fall out behind him and he can benefit from that.
I got to say right now, it's Zexify is looking like he is in the best position. He already pitted for those medium tires, and it looks like he's gaining time right now. Billy Misu and Shortbread right there. That was a great overtake over Billy
Misu's. Yeah, he's had a mistake as the Mercedes, so that's dropped him to 3rd. He'll have DRS. We'll want to try and get up close to the back of that Ferrari. There's a Haas round. That's Feni Sorose on those hard tyres, so they've not warmed up for him. Billy Misu within DRS, but Zexify also has it. Flat left. It's J&B Surreal who's gone into the pits, and I'm assuming he's going to get the softs on.
I think you're right about that. I think Billy Misu's realizing that those medium tires are finally starting to lose a little bit of grip. We did see him make a slight error, and the time on the top 3 is so tight it dropped him back 10 laps already on the medium, and it is coming. It's about 10.5 right now for Billy Misu. We're gonna see if he decides to come in this lap. I think that might be a good spot for him right now. Talking about the time and the position that we could gain, but the traction's already starting to go, and we're seeing the cracks breaking through on those tires right now. It's Zexify still looking like he's in an excellent position.
Yeah, he looks brilliant, doesn't he, at the Ferrari driver at the moment. Do you know the problem though for Shortbread, as Walt picks up another penalty, the problem for Shortbread and for Billy Misu is that JMB Surreal, who was only a couple of seconds behind those two, has come out onto the soft tyres and he's in 17th place. And Billy Misu pits now, but I feel he's going to be so far away from top 10 that I think the safety car's ruined his strategy.
Yeah, I think it's too little too late, unfortunately. I know he wanted track position coming out, decided to stick on those medium tires under safety car conditions.
Great overtake from flat left. Harinali went all over the curb and flat left just skipped on through. So the Ferraris are currently second and fourth, but technically speaking, they are first and third if you take out Shortbread, who still needs to pit. So that's worked out very well. Cracking overtake by flat left. He didn't have a big gap to go through, but he got past him. Harinali, he's so close for a potential podium, but he's now going to have to make that overtake on circuit. If he keeps clipping the curbs, he's going to end up tripping himself into the wall.
And we know if he keeps going a little bit outside, the stewards are not afraid to be giving out those time penalties. They've given enough warnings. N24, that is not his first 3-second time penalty. Oh, we got a yellow flag here.
Yeah, Diego has retired. I think he's just is. Look at this fight. Sorry, I'm just watching Harinali and Arpita were side by side as Shortbread goes into the pits. He'll tumble out of the top 10 now. Harinali. Oh, look at Ben Roberts. It's 3 wide going down towards turn 1. Ben Roberts has got through. He's got past the pair of them. What an brilliant racemanship from Ben Roberts. Up to 4th, and Harinali goes off into the gravel track.
Oh, no. Harinali. Oh, you hate to see it. You were just talking about taking a little bit too much curb, especially with those tires starting to wear. Ah, what a shame.
He's round. That's out.
Oh,
he's out.
Big crash.
Will we get a safety car for this? It doesn't look like it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we are.
We get another safety car.
Now, this is critical because the drivers now, Zexify, he's got an 8-second buffer at the moment. Will he be brave? Will he be brave enough to think, yeah, let's jump on the softs? Here, I wouldn't. I think you'd want. I don't think DRS will have enough time to be activated.
I think you're right about that, and especially considering that Fetz, the driver right behind him, also has a time penalty. And Zexify is deciding not to go in the pits. I think that's the right call right there. Fetz, right behind him, also not going into the pits. These
yeah.
I see these drivers, you know, it's so tough. If the safety car comes in on lap 15, even the last lap 16, there will be no DRS. I don't know how much of an advantage having the softer compound would be. If it was a couple more laps, some of these drivers might be brave enough to test their luck. But right now, the top guys are deciding to stay out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Orkin. The only driver who has actually pitted is Feni Sarose on the hards. He's going on to the softs, and that makes sense for him because he's down in 16th place in any case. I've just noticed that Volt is using his ERS on the safety car, which makes no sense. Should be saving that, son. But looking at everybody else at the moment, Zexify leads, Fetz second, flat left. I said before the race, didn't I, Orkin, that he'd be the one to watch out for, the current championship leader. He's slowly and very quietly worked his way up the grid. Arpita is in 4th, Spannel is in 5th. Again, Spannel doing exactly what he does usually in race 1, keeps out of trouble, qualifies a little bit lower. I think he qualified, if I just have a quick scan through, he qualified in 12th place, and he's now... Oh, safety car in this lap. We're going to get 2 laps of racing, Orkin.
Okay, this is going to be a little interesting. The strategy's coming a little bit more into play. We're going to see Ken Betts, what he needs to do on that medium compound, just get out of the range of flat left. He's got a 3-second time penalty, and of course, flat left is going to take that into consideration. Don't need to be too greedy. I know he wants every driver wants to win the position on track, but if it has to come down to the time penalties, the steward's making a call. I'm sure Fetz wouldn't be upset with that call.
No, absolutely. Zexify bolted early, to be honest with you. Out of that corner, it kind of caught Fetz a little bit unawares, but flat left, unfortunately, isn't quite close enough. Not that it matters, like you said, Orkin. He doesn't need to make that overtake. He just needs to stay within the 3-second time penalty. Peter has moved himself into 4th place. There's a change for 12. Shortbread on those soft tyres. He's got 2 laps to try and make up 2 places to get into the points. Whether he can do it, we'll find out. Oh, is that the McLaren of PSU going up the inside of Spannel at Tosa? He's got through.
Oh, and that's great from PSU. You know, he started P2, he dropped back a couple positions, but 2 laps to go, and this man is still fighting. What are the chances that we can see a PSU podium right now? I know the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo are competing right now. Flat left is looking great.
If Peter can, if PSU can get past Peter on this penultimate lap or even on the final lap, although they both run very wide out of the chicane there, if he can get past him, Vettel's got that 3-second penalty. So, Orkin, your prediction there in terms of a podium could be true.
Well, the margins are so close right now between 2 through 6, these drivers, but it's Zexify is absolutely taking off and not looking in the rear view mirror. No time penalty and no need to come back into the pits. He has played this race brilliantly so far, and I think right now, as it stands, will be rewarded the Grand Prix winner.
Looks like it's going to be that way for the Ferrari driver. Silky's moved up to 7th place. There's a huge fight going on for 7th place. The race director's not picking this up, and I can understand that. Chance hit the side of Silky. He's going into the wall and he's out.
Oh no!
There's still more chaos. Silky's got a 5-second. I'm not sure what for. He didn't really do anything wrong there. But
that's going to be corner cutting and gaining a position off the track. That is the 5-second penalty there for Silky. Going back to PSU.
Yeah, PSU right on the back of, well, he's close to the back of our Peter, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I want to focus the attention onto the man that deserves it, really, the Ferrari of it, Zexify. He's coming up now to Ravazza for the final time in this race. He is driven stupendously as he comes round the final corner, clips the inside curb, but it's not going to trouble him because it's Zexify takes the win for race 5 of the season. Fetz will cross the line second, but he's not going to hold it. It's flat left. It's a Tifosi happy days. 1-2 at Imola. Peter will be 3rd, PSU 4th, Fetz in 5th, Spannel ends up finishing 6th, with Shortbread 7th. All these time penalties. JMB Surreal, Jackie won France, and I can't see who came 10th.
We're definitely going to need to digest this race. I saw at the very end, Fenny Sarosa just kept getting multiple time penalties, even got a 10-second. Yeah. We're going to have to look at that. Just had a sector and a half to go. I don't know if he had a little bit of damage, but we're going to look at that. Right now, it's Zexify taking home a well-earned trophy.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that second win of the season for it Zexify, and hopefully, you know, in terms of his bedtime, he'll be able to do the second race. I'm really teasing him, of course. Ben Roberts did get 10th place in the end, so the last point or points paying position. There was a lot of nonsense going on that final lap in the back of the grid. Not really sure quite what happened there, but we had a very topsy-turvy race, Orkin, and if race 1 was this exciting, I'm sure race 2 will just be the same.
I'm expecting and anticipating more of the same, because what we just witnessed was absolute masterclass. Had a lot of chaos on the track. The stewards had to intervene when they deemed it necessary. Although we are going to have to check the time penalties awarded for speeding in the pit lane. I know that was a discussion, a topic of conversation amongst the drivers during the race week as we're preparing for this race. They decided and voted to not have the formation lap to stall any potential technical difficulties that could ensue, but the time penalty awarded for driving and speeding in the pit lane was up for debate as well, falling in the same category as the technical difficulties. Not sure how the stewards are going to rule on this one, but the drivers are already saving their onboards and getting ready to send it up to everybody in the booth right now. We will be checking that. If there's any update, we will be bringing it back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll give you any updates as we go along if there's anything that needs to be addressed in between race 5, which we've just done, in race 6. Obviously, it's round 3 at the moment in the overall league. But that was a very good way to start this race tonight, and I've been very excited to see how everybody else gets on in the next round here that we're going to have at the moment. Looks like a couple of people were saying had a few issues all the way through, but that was a very fun race.
Jack, I absolutely agree. That was a great one to watch. I'm signing up for the second one. This is absolutely amazing. I am following for part 2 as we speak. PSU just got a quick word in with him. He said he's not entirely happy with how he finished position wise, but he's still patting himself on the back. Did get some very nice overtakes that he's putting on his mantle, chalking that up as a win in his book. I know he started P2 and didn't get the podium. It did look like he was flirting with that opportunity, especially after that safety car and the 2 laps no race. And so PSU is going to look to take that positive moving forward into the next race we got here. I love that attitude. You didn't get the podium. You started P2. You fell back a little bit. There was some chaos on track, but you're taking the positives and bringing that into the next race. And that's really all you can do as a driver.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to, any knocks that you take as you're racing around, you've just got to try and accept what they are and push past it. And like you say, Orkan, positive attitude to go into race 6 with. And for PSU's sake, I hope that he can replicate that qualifying that he did. But we're going to go into the race 6 now. We've got the one-shot qualifying as opposed to the short session. So the drivers better be making no mistakes, otherwise they will end up near the back of the grid. So this race session starting in 20 seconds from now. I am expecting this to be a battle between Zexify and PSU again, if I'm honest, Orkan.
You know what? I'm thinking the same thing. My long shot for P3, getting the podium Spanel, calling it now. The man started low on the grid and worked his way up in a very calm, calculated way, not overreacting on the track, but kept his head down and just raced. Very impressed with that performance, and I think he's going to have enough experience from this previous race and try to bring it here.
I mean, I've been very impressed with Spanel, actually. I know there's a lot of drivers on the grid who do very well. I know there's some drivers who are yet to score points, but Spanel seems to have this consistency which is lacking sometimes from some drivers, and he keeps scoring points from lower positions. Like, he might not have the outright speed, but he might be able to use this to his advantage. But here we go, coming around the final corner then onto this one flying lap for everybody. Who is going to take pole?
And right now I'm looking at Fenny Sorosa served a 10-second penalty right at the last lap of the last race. PSU right now, P1. Oh, it's a dogfight up front. Everybody's switching.
It is. They're all fighting over those positions. Zexify has got himself to the front of the pack as he comes into the Tosa hairpin at turn 7. He's the one who has the lead at the moment. And then it's Mercedes, McLaren, Aston Martin, McLaren top 5. Looking a little bit further back, I'm just watching Fake Nuts. And Fake Nuts has had a spin somewhere on a lap. So, Zexify, it's over to you.
And let's see, it's Zexify. He does indeed set that purple S2. Billy Misu not far behind. And that McLaren showing its real pace. And, of course, the 3-4, the two McLarens are neck and neck fighting it out right now. Just goes to show how even, not just the car, but how even those drivers are trading back and forth. Ben Roberts didn't have the best race, fell off quite early, left it up to PSU to bring home most of the points.
Zexify for pole.
Are we that surprised, Jack? It's Zexify has just been so dominant at this track. I mean, he knows this like the back of his hand, and even started on the soft compound this time. So good for him. Good for it. Zexify looking to carry that momentum back into Imola Race 2.
Yeah, and he set the same lap time as effectively the same lap time within the 10th of what he did in the first qualifying session, so his consistency is right there, but the qualifying gap's a lot closer compared to the first race that we had. Zexify, though, in P1, Billy Misu second, Ben Roberts third, Shortbread in fourth, PSU fifth, Flat Left sixth, JMB Surreal seventh, Fetz in eighth, Jackie on France in ninth, and Silky in 10th. Rounding off the grid for the last driver's set lap time was Spannel in 14th, and we had a couple of drivers disqualified, which was Millo, Fenix Rose, Fake Knudsen. Walt didn't set a lap time, so that is your running order.
Well, I really hope I didn't jinx Spannel there. Oh my! Listen, his dominance comes from his race pace. I did not say he is the best qualifier, not known for being the best qualifier, but if he still keeps that calm and collected attitude, I think a podium is still a potential for Spannel, especially with the chaos we have been seeing in these races.
Yeah, if we have that chaos like you mentioned, Orkin, that might just give him an opportunity, a pathway to get into those higher placings. We'll soon find out in the next 30 seconds, though, because the start round here is so crucial. But we're coming into the last few seconds now as the lobby gets themselves ready. Here we go then, 5 lights coming on. You got the Ferrari and the Mercedes on the front row. Here we go, and the race is live here from Imola, and the lights are now going off, and it's away. Is Zexify gets himself off the line. It's another cracking start from the Ferrari. Billy Misu in second. Shortbread, great start for him. He's up to third. Fenix Rose is out. There's been a crash. There's been a crash at the starting line, and that's a safety car already.
Starting out with the safety car, and Ben Roberts is going to be pinned for that one. Severe collision, getting hit with the 5-second penalty. Both McLarens starting out with some penalties. I saw Ben Roberts going to be dinged, causing that Fenix Rosa crash.
I think well, Ben Roberts and PSU, they both hit each other, and they've both been given 5-second penalties. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think they should have them. They've gone into the side of one another under the safety car, but that happened just as the timings came out, so I think that's very harsh from the game. Looks like Spannel has hit Fenix Rose, or vice versa at the start. This is not uncommon for those that are watching for a start line accident to happen. I've seen it in other leagues, but unfortunately it has happened on the first lap again, and Spannel's going to have to go in and potentially put on a set of hard compound tyres and try and go to the end.
Now, do you think it is worth it to go to the mediums this early? The safety car would probably resume lap 3 or 4. Stretch those mediums out just a bit longer to get that out of the way. It's an interesting call from It's Zexify. Oh no, decides to not pit. Gonna keep those softs right now.
Looks like there's a couple of cars. Harry Alley is one of them. Fetz, Peter, Jackie on Franson has also pitted, but I think he may have had damage. He started on the mediums. Harry Alley is doing what I said, Orkin. He's gone to the hards, as has Fetz. And I think if there isn't another safety car, honestly, I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, I got to agree. I think that's the right call. Even if you stretch the mediums out, I still think that's the right call. Throwing the hards on just to be a little extra safe. This is a very fast track, so
I'd be amazed if the mediums lasted. Let's say the safety car comes in on the next lap, 13 laps on the mediums. I don't think they'd last that long. I'm thinking our Peter, who's gone on to the mediums. I'm thinking from his perspective, he's probably thought, right, let's hope for another safety car and we can bolt on the softs later on, because we had 2 safety cars in the last race, so his logic's not based on nothing.
Well, based on how some of these drivers are treating each other, I think you might be right about that. I think that might be the right call from a strategy perspective. But time will tell. Both McLarens still got the time penalty. So that is interesting that you're saying that they hit each other and got awarded those time penalties. That would be an absolute shame. And I would agree if that was the case, that is a little severe, especially in the first sector of the race.
Yeah, I think they collided just as the safety car sort of light timing came on. So if I were those two, I'd probably send that into the steward's room and they'll have a look at it, because I think that's the other well, actually no, but the other problem with that is that because they've got a 5-second time penalty, they'll have to serve it under their pit stop, so it's going to impact their race even more as flat left pits, incidentally.
You know, to be quite honest with you, I don't know why one of the McLarens, if not both of them, are getting a new tire right now, serving that 5-second time penalty under the safety car. To me, that seems like the most prudent thing to do, but I'm not sure exactly what their strategy is, Jack. Is that the right call for McLaren? Not at least having one of them diving into the pits now, serving the penalty, and getting a tire out of the way.
Unfortunately, this is a quietly introduced rule in 22 this year that the drivers can't serve penalties under safety car. So even if they did, they could put on another set of compounds, but they'd still have that 5-second penalty. Now, there could be an argument to say that if they pitted onto the hards, they'd maybe not have to stop again. They'd serve the 5 seconds at the end, which could be better, could be worse, but either way, they're not going to escape that penalty, unfortunately.
Interesting. I was, that must have been really silent, because I was under the impression you could serve it under the safety car. So that is my mistake.
No, there's always little rule changes in F1, and sure enough, the safety car is coming in this lap, but there's always little changes in Formula One that have a tendency to trip drivers up. Unfortunately, the safety car was really awkward for the drivers to try and stop for. Walt is still using his ERS under safety car. I'm not quite sure how that works. Fetz is going to catch the safety car. So luckily for him, he's going to be ready to go. Let's see though who gets the best start. I'm watching Zexify, who's in P1, and he's going to do exactly what he did. No, he's still waiting to go. He's not gone yet. Now he goes, and he's caught Billy Misu on the hop. Shortbread's not quite close enough to get to the back of him. PSU. Oh no! Oh, I thought PSU and Ben Roberts were going to make contact again. Then Fake Nutsons took advantage already. Can he dive it up the inside? Not quite. The Alpine. Oh, PSU's round.
Oh, and PSU dropping all the way back. Oh, what an absolute shame. I know he wanted to take that momentum from the last race, bring it back here. He really had such a good attitude. Be interesting to talk to him after the race. Going back now. Jack, did we see what caused the spin out from PSU?
Looked like that there was a little bit of contact with somebody else. I'm not 100% certain who, because the camera angle caught just at that moment, but there was definitely an end plate to rear tyre. Silky is right on the back of Walt for 7th place, the debutant in the top 10 for the first time. And I think this is a move that's going to be pretty easy for Silky. Although, to be fair to Walt, no, a little bit of contact. They just carry on in a straight line. Where's Mellow Bello? There he is. He's going to take that position back. Harren Ali up to 10th on those hard tyres. And if he can just keep it in a straight line, he probably... Let's just have a look at the gap to the leader. He's only 7 seconds behind the leader at the moment. As long as he can keep that to about 20, he will be net lead. But look at this fight for 7th place. There's an absolute amount of chaos going on. Silky flies past Volt. He's got no ERS. And Harren's going to go with him. Oh, the contact between the two. Walt is not giving it up easily. But I think this time with the ERS, he's through.
We got another yellow flag in S1 here.
Looks like Fett's had a little wobble coming through the corner. He's okay. He's kept it in a straight line. Just looking at the gap, Billy Misu is just keeping Zexify honest at the moment. He's not close enough to mount an attack, but he is close enough to be aware of him for certain. There's loads of action all over the track. I'm watching really the midfield fight at the moment. Hopefully the race director could pick up Walt in 10th place, because our Peter is all over the back of him. I don't think Walt realizes, or maybe doesn't know how to turn his ERS off, because he's got none already.
Oof, that is gonna hurt later on.
Closing speed. Look at that. That's the difference between having ERS and none at all. Walt's trying to hold on round the outside. I've got to give him credit. He's really fighting, but he is a sitting duck in a straight line.
What a shame there. Going back to the top. You are right. Billy Misu keeping its Zexify honest. Can he hold on within a second, getting that DRS boost right when it gets turned back on? Should be coming back on next lap.
Oh, PSU's gone backwards. He's fallen down to 17th place. I think he's had another little error. So, Son and Fets both do pirouettes together, and that's not great for them.
Fets was not happy from the first race, and it's looking like he's gonna have something to say. Jackie O went to Jackie No, gets spun out there. Got to see what happened.
Yeah, it looks like his tyres have gone a little bit too hot, and he's gone round again. So that's just spread everybody out a little bit. Waltz is the sitting duck at the moment, and the soft tyre runners are into the pits, but Billy Misu has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh no, another one for Billy Misu.
Absolute nightmare for the Mercedes man. He's going to drop right the way back. Now, what did I say before, Orkin, about the drivers who went onto the hard compound tyres? They won't have to pit again. And at the moment, Harren Ali, currently in 4th place, doesn't need to stop again. He's the man at the moment who's going to take this net lead.
It is looking excellent right now for Harren Ali, pardon me. He is the leader right now of the ones that have stopped. And you are right. He's in an excellent position right now. He's on the hard compound. He's going to ride those hard compounds all the way out. Great strategy decision from Mercedes there. That is absolutely fantastic to see. And I think that's the right call. You know, there's been a little bit of chaos on track, a little bit of debris, but the stewards did not deem a second safety car was necessary. So I feel like they, in the booth, just want to let these drivers race right now. I can see there's already some talk of the drivers throwing shade at each other. Spanel, unfortunately, is getting dragged through the rails. There is going to be some discussion after the fact. Fenny Sorosa absolutely furious with Spanel right now. Says he ruined his race, and looking at the onboards, I can't necessarily disagree with him. I feel Fenny Sorosa's anger. He definitely had the pace and is not holding back his opinion about who he thinks is responsible.
No, absolutely, but that's going to be one for the stewards to discuss. And to be honest with you, Spanel won't be thinking about that at all, because at the moment he is on for a net 3rd place, thanks to Milo Bello and JMB Surreal, who still need to pit. But he's got pressure from flat left behind him, which is going to be, you know, really difficult to maintain, because flat left, the championship leader coming into this race, he wants to get onto the podium to just continue extending this gap, because look at all the other drivers who've pitted now, Orkin, Zexify, Shortbread, Billy Misu, Fake Nuts, and all those that have pitted. If we go to Zexify at the front of the queue, he's still over 6 seconds back from the drivers who have done their pit stop. And that's going to be a lot to bring back.
You're right. It's going to be a lot to bring back for sure. That is interesting. It's Sexify did everything he could there. We're going to see if that ultimately pays off. No, he had the ultimate ace. He was the favorite heading into this, but right now, Arpita is looking absolutely great. Heron Alley right behind.
Yeah, our Peter's just got past him actually on those medium tyres. So our Peter's strategy is obviously different to Harron's. Harron on the hard compound tyre, which we'll get to the end, but our Peter's going to have to hope that he can hold onto the medium tyres, because otherwise he's going to lose a lot of speed at the end of this race. Let's give a little shout out to JMB Surreal though, because he's not pitted yet, but he is in the lead of the race. He's got no penalties to speak of. He's yet to start, but he is probably the driver. Let me just have a look at the intervals here. He will probably, if he pits and he keeps up this pace, he'll probably come out around about 11th or 10th. So it might still work out for JMB to get some points.
Okay, and that's what he was hoping for. That's an interesting strategy. Milo Bello jumped up 13 spots, an absolutely heroic climb. But again, he has yet to stop. And right now, 9 seconds behind the leader, JMB Surreal right now. The top two guys still have not pitted yet. Arpita looking absolutely phenomenal. Already did stop. Just floating around 1-6 behind Milo Bello right now. Just out of the DRS range.
Waltz just picked up a time penalty there as we go through. Just to say though, because Harron Alley was the lead hard tyre runner, is he only one apart from Flat Left, but Flat Left has caught him for 4th and 5th place at the moment, and that is outside of 12th and 13th the closest fight on track at the moment. And I think Flat Left will fancy his chances of getting past him here.
Oh, Fetz is absolutely furious right now. Dropped 9 spots, getting thrown these time penalties. What an absolute shame. Flat Left right now in Heron Alley. Neck and neck. A dog fight for 4th place.
No, Pierce Shoe's gone from bad to worse. He's gone round again. And that is Milo Bello and JMB Surreal into the pit. So they've got 5 laps on the soft tyre. So that gives Arpita the lead now with 5 laps to go. Now this would be incredible if he could pull this off. If he can go onto the medium tyres, which he's on at the moment, because Flat Left is so close to the back of Harron Alley as I say that. But if he can make those medium tyres work, that would be an incredible drive from the Alfa Romeo driver.
I completely agree. Right now, Flat Left is battling Heron Alley. Less than half a second going up that big turn. What an incredible dogfight to see right here. A battle for the podium positions. Arpita right now is out of the DRS range of anyone behind him, just trying to take those. Oh, Arpita's on the mediums. Okay, it's Heron Alley on the hards.
Yeah. So it's working for Arpita, but how much tyre life has he got left now? That is going to be the big question over these next 5 laps. Flat Left is getting ready to try and make a move on Harron Alley. He's so close to the back of the Mercedes driver in 2nd place. Will he use a little bit of ERS? He does. He hasn't got much of it left. Now here comes the DRS. Can he get close enough? Harron Alley using his ERS to combat him though. So if these two work together, they can catch the Alfa Romeo, and it'll be a fight for the victory. And I think as Zexify just gets past Spannel for 4th place, he's the driver to watch out because
Zexify's out of the race.
There's a safety car. That's a full safety car. Who is going to be the closest to benefit for the pits here? It'll be Jan. He gets straight in, no messing about for him. I was on board for that, and Zexify didn't even turn for the left-hander. He just went straight into the wall. That's why I was stunned for a moment then. But this is a shootout now. This is a shootout for the win. These 3 drivers yet to win this. Well, say 2 drivers because Flat Left has one. But our Peter Harren yet to win this season. Harren hasn't had a podium, and he's on the verge of potentially having a race victory. But he's got to fight our Peter and Flat Left for it.
Now it's going to be interesting to see. The top 4 guys are long right now on their tires. They're looking to see. I think our Peter's going to set the decision right here. Is he going to dive into the pits?
No. Harren does.
Going off of the hards. Flat Left staying on the hards. Now this is going to be interesting to see because Flat Left and Harren Alley both have the same amount of laps on the hard. One is sticking on and the other is coming off, going to the softs.
Both
Flat Left
Mercedes
is on the hard.
For the softs. So Harren Alley is gambling that this will pay off for him and he'll have enough speed to get past the drivers in front of him. Everyone else has gone into the pit. But your prediction earlier on, Orkin, right now, Spaniel is in P3.
It's not looking too bad. I'm happy I didn't jinx this man. But at the same time, the stewards will be investigating after the race. I could already see a couple drivers telegraphing their displeasure, to put it lightly, with Spaniel's on-track decisions. The onboards will be investigated. Any footage that we have, we can obviously file a claim, send that up to the race director and the stewards. Everybody in the booth will be reviewing that. But yeah, as of now, Spaniel is looking excellent. Kept his head down and jumped 11 positions. Okay. Not known for his qualifying.
Absolutely, and he's not the only one. There's 2 other drivers. Fake Knutson has gone up 11 places. He's in 6th at the moment. He does have a penalty to deal with, which I think is about 3 seconds potentially, so he's going to have to deal with that. And Arpisa, who's leading the race, also gone up 11 places too.
Oh, who got served a drive-through penalty?
I think it was, I want to say it was Silky who got a drive-through penalty. So that is Silky out of the race pretty much in terms of point scoring, unless we have some unbelievable chaos in these last 2 laps.
that would be chaos for the books, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it would be, absolutely. So, looking at the situation, let's see how it plays out. We will probably have 2 racing laps left. JMB Surreal is on the soft tyres. He can go all out now in these last 2 laps to try and get to a podium place. Harren Alley in 7th at the moment. He's also on the softs. And Milo Bello. I think anyone further back than that is going to have a very difficult time getting to the podium spots. Flat Left is on the hard compound tyre, and our Peter will be thanking his lucky stars because of the medium compound tyre. Shouldn't have made it this far, but the safety car will just help with that tyre wear a little bit. It might just get him through to the end.
I think that's going to be all he needs. Anything more than that, you're right. It would have been too close. I don't know if that would have been the best strategy, but you're right. That safety car is definitely helping. Using every ounce, every millimeter of traction on those medium compounds. I would love to see that tire after this race. Oh my.
Absolutely. Safety car in this lap. I do hope if Walt, if you're watching this when you get the chance to come back, please turn your ERS off, mate. Because you're using it on the safety car, and that certainly won't help you out. But you're still 9th, so that's going well for the Williams. So our Peter will lead the train. This is his chance to take a first win of the season, to fulfill that pre-season promise he's shown in the evaluation race. Can he translate that into a first win now? Coming round the final corner here at Ravazza, he's already put the power down and he's done well with that restart. Will Flat Left get close enough to him as they come across the line for the penultimate lap? He's not close enough yet, is the Ferrari driver. Spaniel there in third. Look at Shortbread. He's looking to try and go around the outside, coming towards turn 2. Will he try and brave it around the outside? He keeps it there, a little bit of contact. Oh no, he's gone round.
No.
J&B Surreal, the man that benefits from it, he is going to be licking his lips. He's got 2.3 to make up, but he could do it on those soft tyres. They have so much fresher than the two cars behind. There's a Williams in the gravel trap. I think that was Walt. Oh, Walt's in the wall, actually, and he's out.
Oh, no.
A little bit of chaos.
A little bit is putting it lightly. These drivers are getting their elbows out. I see Spanel was in third and quickly dropped back to sixth. Heron Alley on those softs. Spanel did not stand a chance on those very warm medium tires.
Race Director, I hope you are watching the fight for first, because flat left is right behind Arpita. Arpita took a different line. J&B Surreal is catching these two. He's going to be right on the back of them come this final lap. But Arpita, he's got about 3 miles of racetrack to go to win this Grand Prix. But he's got flat left, who's on probably better hard tyres at the moment, trying to catch him. It's going to come down to this arc, and who's going to take it?
It's coming right down to the wire. My money right now, I don't know why, I'm saying flat left. I think he's just got a little bit more tire left in him. He's doing very well. Heron Alley gets a penalty. Oh, you hate to see that on the last lap.
Got overtaken by Fake Knudsen as well. This has been a great recovery. J&B Surreal's gone into the gravel trap. That's his race in terms of the victory gone. It is now a fight between flat left and Arpita on this final lap. They're using all of the ARS that's available to them. Spanel moves himself up past Billy Misu for 6th as we talk about this. Arpita, can he hold on to take Alfa Romeo's first win of the season through Aqua Minerale for the final time? Arpita gets the line nicely. Flat left, though, is right with him as they come up towards Variante Alta, the final time at the chicane. He's got to go for it over the curbs, does flat left, and he doesn't quite get the exit that he
low
needs.
outside.
Doesn't quite get there. And I think that might just give the gap that Arpita needs. He comes through the penultimate corner, 4th gear, 5th gear, just take it nice and steady. He does that. The Alfa Romeo of Arpita takes the win here at Imola with flat left second, J&B Surreal third, Fake Knudsen, he crossed the line 4th with Heron Alley 5th, but it's Billy Misu thanks to penalties. Spanel 5th, Knudsen 6th, PSU after all that ends up 7th, Heron Alley 8th, Milo Ballo, and what a result for the Haas driver of Jan. He gets his oh no! Penalties took him away from points. I was just about to give him it.
Oh no!
He was so
right
close. Oh, I was just about to line it all up for Gianni. I thought he had points, but his penalties were too severe, and that takes it away from him. But what a race, Orkin.
An absolutely amazing race. I'm not going to say long shot. Arpita has done enough in the past. He's demonstrated his driving capabilities, knows what he's doing, kept his head down, and had the ultimate strategy going long with the hards. Or excuse me, the mediums.
That strategy paid off, and it's worked out well for him. Flat left just comes up short in second place, but good constructors points for Ferrari for those fans, and Maranello will be happy tonight. A race win for Zexify and 2 podiums for obviously flat left there, so he'll be quite happy with that, and I'm sure the rest of the drivers will be happy with their results. Let's just have a quick run through the grid there, the final results. So Arpita finishes in first place with flat left in second. J&B Surreal ends up third. Good race for him. Billy Misu fourth. Spanel in 5th place. Another great drive from him. Also from Fake Knudsen in 6th place, going up 11 places there. Good effort. PSU in 7th. Heron Alley, what could have been, in 8th place with Milo Ballo in 9th, and Shortbread in 10th place. The other drivers, Jan, so close to getting his first points in the weekend league, but it didn't happen for him. Silky 12th, rather 13th. Jackie on Franson, I missed out there in 11th. Fetz and Walt finished 14th, 15th. They were classified despite not finishing. Zexify, Ben Roberts and Fenny Sarose out DNF'd. Orkham, what a magnificent set of races we've had.
It was a couple magnificent races, a lot of chaos, and already the drivers are heading to the pit crew going to their onboards, trying to plead with the stewards right now. They think they have some positions that should be earned, some penalties that were given. There's some heated debate right now. I don't know if it's necessarily going to affect the top three, but the drivers are being very vocal at the moment, discussing with the stewards and the race directors their point of view, showing why they feel the way they do, getting punted off the track in some cases. Drivers even shouting at each other in the pit crews, not necessarily getting to the point where we have to hold anyone back, no Michael Schumacher days, but it is getting very heated down there, and these drivers are not afraid to tell anyone their opinion right now.
No, they're really not. They're obviously having some exchanged words, shall we call them, in the driver's room. Shortbread just also, on a brief on that, gets the points there for fastest lap. So a point plus another point. But as always for the drivers, they know when they're watching this, make sure to send it into the stewards room. They'll be able to sort it. But Orkham, out of all this, before we obviously finish off for tonight, because it's been two great races again from Gavra Racing for the weekend league on PlayStation. What's been your favourite moments?
Well, my favorite moments has got to be from the first race, PSU. He didn't finish exactly where he wanted, had an excellent qualifying, was right in the thick of things with its Zexify, did fall out of the podium places, but kept his head up high, went into the second race with patting himself on the back, taking all the positives. Unfortunately, the second race was a little worse for him, but that we're not going to read that chapter 2. We're going to reread chapter 1, take that positive energy home. That was one of my favorite moments for sure. The second race was just Arpita. That's all I gotta say. Came back, he was out of the points, started low on the grid, came back and absolutely dominated. Took a gutsy call, a gutsy strategy. Don't know if it would have paid off unless for that safety car, but he was a man on a mission. The driver knew what he was doing on the track. And it's just excellent to see.
Yeah, I think you've summed it up there, Orkham. What a great set of races we've had, and some really special moments. PSU taking his positive attitude, Spannel doing what he does normally in terms of those solid point scoring finishes that he does despite not qualifying there. But great race wins for Zexify and for RP, his first ever in Gavra Racing, which I'm sure he'll be sleeping quite soundly tonight. But from all of us here at Gavra Racing, this has been round 3, races 5 and 6. Do join in and tune in rather for next week's 2 races, races 7 and 8 for Miami. There'll be some action and some more chaos, I'm sure, there. But from me and Orkin in the commentary booth, I've been Jack, of course, as always, and do tune in next time, and wherever you might be in the big wide world, have a good one. See you soon.
Take care, everybody.